Hello everybody, my name is Michael, and in today's video what we're going to be doing is this right here. So if that looks interesting to you, let's get into this video. Okay, so starting off here with our very hungry giant, since this is a Noel's Arks Marvelous Miniature, it's already pre-primed so we can go straight into the painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a sort of rosy skin tone, but actually quite dark because I want this to be our shadow layer essentially. You know, this is where we want to build up from. So I want to go nice and a lot richer for the color, and we will eventually work up to brighter colors as we go. Plus, I also thought it might be good to mix up my skin tones a little bit, as I tend to follow a lot with a lot of lighter skin tones. So I wanted to try something a little bit different, go for this more reddish brown skin tone. So all we need to do here is give a full, nice, even coverage of our miniature. So don't be afraid to, if you're worrying, especially with this big miniature and it's got big wide open spaces, that if the paint does thin out a little bit, don't worry about it. Wait for it to just dry a little bit and add a second layer so you get a nice smooth overall coverage. So now we have that base tone established, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with a pinkish color actually for this, rather than building straight up to our highlight layer. I actually want to add this to the bottom of his stomach that he has here. You know, it's all loose and jiggling, and I wanted to make it sort of discolored and just a little bit more interesting, and make it like maybe just a little bit gross, and like the skin is stretched, and I just wanted to add a little bit more detail. Since this model is a lot of skin, I didn't want to just do my regular base coat, highlight and wash step. I wanted to add a little bit more interesting and varied things into this miniature, since it has so much skin we can play around with. So what I'm doing is going in with this pinkish purple color and just stippling it around the areas where I think that the folds would naturally have some like wear and tear, and just places where it could look sort of a little bit nasty on the piece. So now we have that established, what I'm going to do is come in with a wolf grey now, and for this I'm going to be coming in and painting the veins on this model. So this model is actually reasonably well sculpted, and you can see that since his skin is sort of loose and he's lost a lot of weight, as you can see there, because he's starved himself, that he's got his veins popping out as just sort of like the struggle for desperation, as it looks like he's freshly broken away from the chains that were holding him down somewhere. That's the story I'm going with anyway. And so I wanted to highlight these veins on here. So I've just come in with this wolf grey color, a bluish color, to hopefully give the effect. I won't know until this is sort of finished, but to hopefully give that appearance once we're done, that you can see those blue veins on people who have them nicely showing, and just adding in a bit more of that visual interest, like I said in our previous step, because I want to, you know, just, we've got a lot of skin here to work with, so why not try and expand my skin painting abilities, and hopefully yours as well, if you're following along here with me, to give you some more ideas of how you can elevate your miniature that little bit more. So now we have those two areas of skin complete. What I'm going to do now is come in with a lighter skin tone, and this time here I've got my dry brush, and I'm just going to come along and dry brush to highlight our skin areas, because there's so much area. I'm not going to bother about manually sort of highlighting. I want to try, because also the skin has a decent amount of texture on it as well, so to try and pick out all of that all at once and save myself a lot of time here, I'm just going to dry brush the skin. Now you could easily come in here and highlight each one of those parts, but that wasn't the trying to go for the look that I wanted to go for. I wanted to make it look a little bit more natural than that, without having to build up so many layers, and I wanted to try and get with it pretty quickly, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of different stuff here with the skin, so I wanted to see how this is going to turn out with just trying a whole bunch of different techniques all at once to try and hopefully elevate my skin painting abilities here. So it's just a matter of coming around here, and as you can see too, I'm using a makeup brush. I'm using a very, very soft brush to do this, because he has a lot of areas that are folds and wrinkles and things like that, and I want to make sure that the dry brush is going to get all around those areas, so I've got a nice soft brush to do that with. So now we have that all highlighted up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with a wash, and for this I'm going to be using Reikland Flesh Shade. And you can see you got a nice big brush here because we've got a lot of skin to cover, and this is of course going to hopefully blend everything together. It may blend it just a little bit too much. I'm not exactly quite sure until we get to the point we wanted to, but the reason why I wanted to do this at this step is because in the next step we're going to go over with another highlight. So I want to bring back the highlights into the skin as well. You could totally do the wash stage first and then do the highlight on top of it, but I wanted to do 2 levels of highlight, so we've got a lot more blending going on between our colors on our skin there, so it makes it look like it's got a lot more variation in it, and it's a nice quick step to do with a quick dry brush highlight, then coming over with a wash, and then we're going to add on in the next step another highlight again to just give a lot of variations in all of our skin tones here. So of course too, especially with this model, if you're painting up this like I am here, because he's got so many folds and wrinkles, you definitely want to make sure to avoid too much pooling in those areas where he's got all those folds in his skin. Now we have that complete. Like I said before, we're going to be adding on another highlighting stage here. Now this again is with the exact same color I used to highlight with before. Now this is totally up to you. This is a added extra step. I wasn't quite sure with where I was going with that, but I feel like I just wanted to add in a little bit more highlight so we have more like a variation in the skin tones here, and you can see the difference between the highest highlights and the shadows and the base layers that we had here. But if you're going for speed, or if you just like the look that we had before we applied this highlight, it's totally up to you what you want to do here. This is just hopefully trying to add in a little bit more visual interest to the piece, because you're going to have a lot of different variations, because we're coming back over with our original color that we used to highlight with, and we've applied the wash, coming back in with a highlight again. It's just going to give us that little bit more on the places where it doesn't catch on those initial highlighted parts we did, and giving that wash where it darkened down, we're going to boost them straight back up. But if you want to go, if you want to go with a little bit more, seeing a lot of those extra colors we added in, like the blues and the pinks and the purple that we had there, you might want to just miss this step, so that way you're not adding on another dry brush layer that could potentially lose a bit of that color. Now that we have that skin done, we're going to move on to another area of the miniature, and you can see here I've got a tannish color, and this is going to be going for his fingernails and his toenails. I want them to be really gross looking, so coming in with this sort of earthy tan color, I think is going to hopefully emphasize that they're just a little bit gross when we come in with our washes later on, rather than coming in with a lighter color. So this is totally up to you here. You may want to go with like a black, go for something like Classic Claws. You might want to go with a bit more of a highlighted skin color, maybe use the original highlight color that we use for our skin to give a more sort of natural appearance of the fingernails. But for me, I want those gross yuck fingernails, well, hopefully give off those gross yuck fingernails that are very like unkept for the whole piece here. Now that we have those toenails complete, what we're going to do is come in with a little bit of off-white color here, and this is going to be for picking out our giant's teeth. As well as that too, I'm also going to be doing the eyes, but I'm going to actually do those off camera. I was finding when I was trying to film it on camera, it was just a little bit too hard to keep the camera in frame as well as painting the eyes, so I hope you can forgive me for that, but I need to do them off screen so they don't look like they're too crazy out of control. But just know that I'm going to be doing the eyes as well as picking out the teeth here. Okay, so now we have the eyes and the teeth done. What I'm going to do is come in with some Seraphim Sepia, and this is of course going to be applying over the areas we've just painted, so that is our toenails and our teeth, to give that really unkept look, like he doesn't take care of himself. I mean, I don't think giants really brush their teeth or groom their nails quite well, especially this one who looks like he's been chained up for a long time, and he's sort of been rotting in a dungeon or some sort of keep somewhere, and he's busted out. So we want to yellow everything up, and Seraphim Sepia is going to be the perfect color for doing this. Now we have those parts sufficiently grossed up. What I'm going to do now is come in with a brown, and I'm going to be using this just to paint up our giant's hair on the back of his head. He's got a nice bald head, but he does have hair along the side there. So totally up to you what color you want to do the hair here. I just wanted to go in with just some generic brown hair. I didn't want to go with anything too crazy, but that's totally up to you, because I wanted the focus of this miniature to be more on the skin. So just letting that fade sort of in the background with just a generic brown. Now we have that hair painted up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a greenish color here, sort of a green aqua color, and this is going to be for the loincloth that he has on him. Now this again is totally up to you what you want to do here. If you want to go with some sort of off yellow color, so it's like stained and gross, a brown here, I wanted to just vary it up just a little bit, add a little bit of color into this piece, and go with something a little bit outside of my comfort zone here. So this is why I went with a sort of like a teal-y color here, this like bluish green mixture here. I just thought that would look visually interesting on the piece here, but totally up to you what color you want to paint as loincloth. And now we have the base color of that. I'm going to come in now with some Agrax Earthshade, and this is to be applying a wash, of course, and I want to apply this over our loincloth area. As well as that too, I also want to apply a bit of this wash on his hair as well, just darken it down a little bit. And of course I'm going with just a regular Agrax Earth wash here, just to, you know, dirty this thing up. I want to make it, you know, look like it is ragged bits of cloth that he has as his loincloth. So I'm going pretty heavy with the overall wash here. You could easily back off a little bit of this, but I wanted those stains in there as well. So one of the cool fun times where you don't have to care too much about the pooling. Now we have that wash completely dry. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move on to some metallic areas. So for this, of course, the metallic areas on him are his chain. So I'm starting off with a nice deep gunmetal here, because I want this to be our base color for our chain. So you probably want to go with whatever darkest metal you have here. You may want to go with a black metal color, but totally up to you here. I just had this one here, which is sort of my darkest out of all of my silver colors, without going into the black color territory, because we're going to add a wash onto this as well, so that'll darken it down even more. So I wasn't too worried about that. So just picking out a gunmetal here to pick out all of his shackles and chains on his body. Then once we have those chains base coated, what I'm going to do is come back in with our original color that I used for his loincloth here. This was because the loincloth was still just drying a little bit, so I moved on to our step with going on with the chains while it was just not quite ready enough to accept highlight layer without moving around some of that wash. So a good little tip there too, that you can always move on to another area if you're waiting for one area to dry. So that's what I was doing here. That's why I switched between our metallic area and our loincloth area there. So just so nice and simple, coming in with some highlights. Now that we have that highlighting done, we can now come in with our next wash, and this is going to be Nuln Oil. Of course, this is going to go over our metallic areas here. And with these chains too, with the links of the chain, of course, are a little bit like blocky, because they have to make the miniature sort of work together rather than having it loose dangly chain. So don't be afraid to get a little bit of extra wash in between the divots in the piece where the chain sits, because that's just going to naturally sit in there. So don't even worry about wicking it up. Let that pool and then dry in there, and that's going to become super dark, and that's going to look like shadow, and it looks like there is a hole in those chains. Just a little bit of a tip there, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and saving you having to wick up all these spots here, because it's just going to make it look like it's shadow from a distance, and those chains are nice and loosely swinging on the piece, and just add to that more 3D effect of the overall piece. And then once we have that completely dry, it's time for one last step, and this is going to be to add some rust to those chains. Now again, this is totally optional and up to you here, but I want to add some rust so you can tell that this giant has been in here for a long time, and maybe that was how he broke out, as the chains were rusted enough that he could, use his remaining strength he has left to bust him out. And what I'm doing here is I have a mixture of old rust and like new rust on here, so I'm just going to go and splotch these over areas where I think it would be appropriate and where it would just add a little bit of visual interest to the piece here. So I'm aiming for, you know, corners and things like that where rust might naturally build up, but this is a total flavor thing and you can go with it wherever you feel comfortable with it and with how much you want here. I'm going to be a little bit sparing, but I do want to add some on there so you can clearly see it from a distance. But I think with all that done, we have finally finished our piece. So let's go into some glamour shots and see how this piece came out in the end. And there you have it, with all of it finally complete. We have finally finished painting up our Mouth of Grillantor miniature from WizKids by Dungeons and Dragons, or the Hungry Giant as I like to call him. But all that, guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you, whether you want to follow along with what I did here, or you just want to use this video as some inspiration in painting up your own miniatures. But with all that said, guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.